It's never ideal to be upstaged by a younger, more expensive model at your own party. But when Bowers and Wilkins first announced the latest generation of its high-end wireless noise-canceling headphones, the Px7 S2, curiously it also chose to reveal that an even better, pricier, no-holds-barred P8 pair would be released a few months later in the year, rather undermining the premium cachet of its former flagship. We might then have expected the Px7 S2 to be merely an iterative cosmetic update with little to impress us sonically, but, as it turns out, they put in an accomplished and precise hi-fi performance with significant upgrades from 2020's Px7, offering an analytical, if not the most entertaining, alternative to the current class leaders. Outwardly, the most significant departure for the Px7 S2 from its predecessor is a shift away from smooth OLED earcups to less bulky, chamfered build that looks remarkably similar to the original PX headphones that were released in 2017. This could perhaps be related to a return to a Fordent driver after stepping up to a 43.7nm for the previous generation. This retro redesign shaves 3 off the overall dimensions of the headphones, but generally, they retain a similar aesthetic with a moisture-repellent fabric covering the headband and outer shells and a C-shaped yoke that allows 180 degrees of horizontal rotation. The race car-inspired carbon fiber arms of the last iteration have been replaced with a matte plastic composite that counterintuitively has a more luxurious finish in, depending on the colorway. Gold or silver accents separate the shell from the memory foam cobs. These touches subtly produce a more premium and, dare we say, mature look that's a nice contrast to some of the more overtly plastic models currently available. Despite the more compact casing, the weight of the Px7 S2 has only dropped slightly by 3 to 300 savang. They sit snugly, forming a good seal around the ear with the clamping force on the firmer side compared to the WH-1000XM5. Those with long hair may need to be wary of getting entangled in its swiveling yoke, but wearing the Px7 S2 for long periods is still extremely comfortable. Internally, there has also been something of an overhaul. The new Fordent drivers are combined with a voice qual that has increased by 5 to 20. Constructed from biocellulose with a rigidity-improving resin coating, the drivers are steeply raked to ensure a consistent distance relative to the listener's ear from every point across the surface of each driver. As with previous models, on the left earcup is a quick-action button that toggles between 3 noise-canceling settings on, pass-through or off, and can also be reassigned in the app for voice assistant activation. B&W has upgraded its ANC technology to use 6 microphones, to measure the output of each drive unit, to react to ambient noise from the outside world, and to aim to boost voice clarity while suppressing noise. Generally, the Px7 S2 put in a strong noise-canceling performance, with consistency and minimal sound coloration across the different settings. Low droning noises, such as those you hear when on board a train, are well rejected, though we find that higher frequencies including vacuum cleaners or even bird sun creep through to a greater extent than they do through the WH-1000XM5. The right earcup, meanwhile, houses a slider switch for power and Bluetooth pairing, playback controls and a USB-C port for charging and wired playback. Bowers and Wilkins has decided to remove the 3.5 jack input of previous models and instead chosen to include a mini jack to USB-C cable as well as one for USB-C to USB-C. The Px7 S2 don't support passive audio, though, it must be charged up and powered on even for cabled listening. B&W claims the headphones have 30 hours of battery life with noise cancelling on, and a 15-minute recharge tops up 7 hours of additional listening time. We find that to be an accurate representation, with 3 hours of listening resulting in a battery drop of 3%. Of course, B&W expects most users to listen to music over Bluetooth. The Px7 S2 has Bluetooth 5.2 with support for USB-C, aux, aptX, aptX HD and aptX adaptive codecs, the latter 3 of which provide Android devices with a higher quality wireless connection. For those who watch or play games on their phone, aptX Adaptive can be particularly useful as it allows dynamic bitrate variation to avoid connection issues in congested wireless environments, rather than the dedicated headphone app that previous B&W headphones use. The new Px7 S2 connect directly to B&W's music app, which is also used for the company's wireless speakers and, thanks to recent updates since the pricier P8's launch, makes it possible to play back music from integrated music streaming services such as Tidal, Kabas and Deezer within the app.